Welcome back to Keto Naturopath Kitchen. Today, we're making Super Bowl all-meat keto chili. Why do I call it Super Bowl? Because I make it for the Super Bowl every year. For the past 30 plus years, I've made chili for Super Bowl. And that's the only football game we watch per year is the Super Bowl, and I primarily watch it for the advertising. But when we went keto, it's like, geez, I need to make chili. What am I going to make? So I made some different things, and then I watched Butter Bob. If you haven't seen Butter Bob, he doesn't post on YouTube anymore. This is probably 6 or 7 years ago. This is based on his chili. It's not the exact recipe. I modified it somewhat, but Butter Bob's chili, his fried chicken is absolutely amazing. So check out his fried chicken video. So first off, I have to use my glasses. And those of you who are on our Facebook group or on our email list know our story, but I had a brain tumor removed 9 years ago, so I have some vision issues, so I need to wear my glasses. First off, we're going to start with 28 ounces of tomato puree. And I'm going to put this in the blender and stand back because it's going to... And to that, we're going to add our spices. Now, I have measured out all the spices here, and I will tell you it is... Well, you can use a teaspoon of dried garlic, but I'm not using that. I had fresh garlic today, so I'm using fresh garlic. So this is 1/4 cup of chili powder, 1/8 cup of cumin, a tablespoon of salt, 2 teaspoons of black pepper, 2 teaspoons of garlic powder, a teaspoon of onion powder, and 1/2 teaspoon of cayenne powder. Now, the cayenne is optional. It depends on how spicy you like this. You can add more. You don't have to add it all. And the reason I blend it up is so that the spices all get incorporated. You could probably just mix it in without using the blender, but I'm just using the blender, so it's going to be a little noisy. The next thing I'm going to do is cut up my sausage, and I use Roma brand that I get at Aldi's and my local Food Lion. It's clean ingredients, and I froze them because it's easier to cut them frozen than not frozen. It is not as messy. So this is 1 pound of sausage. Even though these are very clean keto, sometimes we have issues with pre-made sausage. I'm going to start experimenting with making my own sausage because then I know exactly what's going in it. And if you don't have a really sharp knife, don't freeze your sausage, or don't let them freeze completely. Just put them in the freezer for maybe an hour or 2 until they are firm. Man, I'm getting a workout just from cutting these. Okay, maybe it's not such a good idea to freeze a sausage. And also, if you're part of our Facebook group or on our email list, you will know that Karl and I started keto for health reasons. We were both sick at the same time. I had the brain tumor. He had the worst case of Crohn's the hospital had ever seen, and he had had no prior history of that. So we were sick at the same time. I would not wish that on anyone. I am making this in my slow cooker. You can do it on the stove. When I had an electric smoker that I loved, I actually used to put it in the smoker. But right now we're doing the slow cooker because then I can just put all the ingredients in, set it aside. I don't have to look at it at all. I love it. So we're going to use a total of 2 pounds of stew meat. But right now, I'm going to put in 1 pound of stew meat because I just want it to cover the bottom. A pound of ground beef, and I had vacuum sealed some ground beef. This is very lean ground beef that I got at Aldi's. I think it's 97% lean. And why I'm using such a lean cut of beef is that when I do something in the slow cooker, I don't want all that fat to just accumulate. And the sausage and the stew meat have enough fat in it. So I just like grab chunks, put it in, nothing special. I know I never used to use my slow cooker because every recipe said brown your meat before you put it in. And I'm like, well, if I have to do that, why use a slow cooker? I'll just cook it on the stove. If I'm dirtying a pan anyway, I'm just gonna cook it on the stove. But so now I just throw it all in raw. I chunk it up and throw it in. This makes a lot. So, and there's just the two of us, Karl and myself. So what I usually do is I make this and we'll eat it for one night and then I'll freeze it so that we can have some another night. This is a little high in carbs because of all the tomato, but I have this once a year and I'm good. Or if you really want to lower the carbs, just use less tomato. Now I'm putting in the sausage. Yes, I'm vertically challenged, so I'm reaching out here. This is what it looks like so far. Now on top of this, I'm going to add the other pound of stew meat. Now I'm using 1/4 cup of onion, and as you all know, I like to weigh my food, so this is actually 31 grams of chopped onion. Just throw that in. And as I said, you could have used dried garlic. I had fresh garlic. I don't always, but I do. Actually, I have lately because one of these days I'll tell you about my use for fresh garlic. Okay, so that's in there. And now what we do is we pour the pureed tomato with all the spices. You also need 28-ounce can of diced tomato. I use fire roasted diced tomato. So I'm just going to pour this in here because that'll help get some of the puree out. Oh, yum. So I'm going to cook this on low for 4 to 5 hours. Cooking it on low, it's all the spices and it's all just going to blend in and taste really good. So I'll be back in 4 to 5 hours and I'll show you how we enjoy it. So the chili's been in the slow cooker for 4 hours and I've just taken some out so you can see how delicious it is. I'm enjoying it with a glass of dry farm wine, of course. I love my dry farm wine, and a glass of red wine goes really well with this. I had bought some yogurt to put on it. You can put yogurt on it, sometimes shredded cheese. I like it plain. I had the hardest time finding yogurt, plain yogurt, that didn't have sugar in it. I wanted a non-dairy-free yogurt. None of the dairy-free yogurts, even the plain ones, they all had added sugar in it. And it's like, I don't know why. Anyway, enough of that. I'll have a sip of wine. Love dry farm wines. And now I'll taste the chili. Oh my goodness. That is so good. Great. Today, right now in North Carolina, it's rainy and cold. This is perfect for a cold weather dinner. Great for the Super Bowl. Great for any occasion. Oh man. I just love it. Enjoy. Mm-mm.